Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us and welcome back. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
And together we are Backyard Musings, the Science and Technology channel.
Yep, and we're talking this afternoon about a health topic. So this should interest a lot of people.
Very interesting.
Yep.
After 2 years, people who undergo metabolic and bariatric surgery achieve weight losses about 5 times greater than with non surgical approaches. Semaglutide and tirzepatide have become some of the most talked about medications in modern weight loss. We've talked about it before. Semaglutide is the active ingredient in Ozempic, a drug originally used for type 2 diabetes that is also widely used for helping people lose weight. Would you like to know more?
Yeah, this stuff is coming on strong. I mean, I don't know how long it's been out, but it's very popular now. Tirzepatide is a newer injectable medication in the same broader class, excuse me, of metabolic drugs, and has drawn attention for its effects on appetite and blood sugar. Both are taken as weekly injections and are part of a group called GLP-1 receptor agonists. Even with all the buzz, a new head-to-head real-world study suggests these medications may not deliver weight loss on the same scale as bariatric surgery over the long term. Probably safer though, I would think, maybe. Because isn't bariatric surgery like those lap bands and
Yeah.
gastrointestinal stuff? Yeah,
Yep.
kind of dangerous. Research reported that sleeve gastrectomy and gastrectomy. Holy cow! Help me out here.
Gastrectomy.
Gastrectomy. Thank you. I know you put that one in there for me. And gastric bypass were associated with about 5 times more weight loss than weekly injections of the GLP-1 receptor agonists, semaglutide or tirzepatide, at the end of 2 years. The findings were recently presented at the American Society of Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery 2025 annual scientific meeting. I'm sure can't believe I missed that one. So.
Yeah. The analysts, led by researchers at NYU Langone Health and New York City Health and Hospitals, found a major gap between the two approaches. After 2 years, patients who underwent one of the bariatric procedures lost an average of 58 pounds. By comparison, patients who received a GLP-1 prescription for at least 6 months lost an average of 12 pounds, 24% total weight loss versus 4.7%.
Staying on the medication longer appeared to help, but it still did not close the gap. Patients on continuous GLP therapy for a full year lost more weight than those treated for at least 6 months. That makes sense. Yet the results remained far below those seen in surgery patients, about 7% total weight loss.
Yes, but you got to take this into account. Like you could go to your doctor and get a prescription for this Ozempic easily, but to be considered a bariatric patient prospect, certain conditions have to be met. I mean, you've got to be really obese. It's not like for the people who want to lose, 20, 30 pounds. That's where the Ozempic
Right.
comes in. But the heavy
Yeah.
weight loss is for the bariatric. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And they've had some issues with that surgery. I mean, I've known a couple people that have had complications, and one of the ladies, she died. I mean,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was not a good thing. So anyway,
So, quote, clinical trials show weight loss between 15 to 24%, 15 to 21% for GLP-1s. But this study suggests that weight loss in the real world is considered considerably lower, even for patients who have active prescriptions for an entire year. We know as many as this quote here. We know as many as 70% of patients may discontinue treatment within 1 year, said lead study author Avery Brown. There's a lot of side effects. I know someone very close to me who's taking the Ozempic, and there's a lot of side effects. This is by Avery Brown, medical doctor, a surgical resident at NYU Langone Health. Continuing his quote, GLP-1 patients may need to adjust their expectations, adhere more closely to treatment, or opt for metabolic and bariatric surgery to achieve desired results.
the researchers conducted a retrospective comparative effectiveness and analysis using real-world electronic medical records from NYU Langone Health and NYC Health hospitals. The study included patients with a body mass index of at least 35 who underwent bariatric surgery, which would be the sleeve gastrectomy, or Ru and Yi gastric bypass. I don't know what that is, or
Sounds French to me.
yeah, or were prescribed injectable semaglutide or tirzepatide between 2018 and 2024.
To ensure a fair comparison, the team adjusted for differences in age, BMI, and comorbidities using average treatment effect weighting. They then evaluated outcomes across a total of 51,000 patients treated with either GLP-1 medications or surgical procedures.
This is a quote. In future studies, we will aim to identify what healthcare providers can do to optimize GLP-1 outcomes, identify which patients are better treated with bariatric surgery versus GLP-1s, and determine the role out-of-pocket costs play in treatment success, says study senior author and bariatric surgeon Karan R. Chahabra, MD, MSc, Assistant Professor of Surgery and Population Health, NYU Grossman School of Medicine. I was going to say, the operation's got to cost a lot more. I know the GLP stuff is not cheap, but the Grossman or the surgeries have got to cost a lot more, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get surgery.
And a lot of them put on the weight right after they get these surgeries. They don't curb their eating habits. So
well, those bands they reduce the size of your stomach. Right. So doesn't that that you fill up easier and quicker? So doesn't that affect?
Well, I guess it does, but some people put the weight back on right away. I've known a couple of people that did that too, and it was sad. They spent all that money and time, because I don't know if these are covered by insurance, but even if they are, it's pretty expensive surgery, and yeah, they ended up putting the weight back on. So sad deal.
About 12% of Americans say they have ever taken a GLP-1 drug, including 6% who say they are currently in treatment. A recent study found that more than half of patients with overweight or obesity, 54%, discontinued GLP-1 therapy within 1 year. 54%, a number that grows to 72.2% by 2 years. It sounds like divorce rates. First divorces are 53%, and then the second divorce is 72%. Right?
I wouldn't know.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Meanwhile, utilization of metabolic and bariatric surgery remains exceedingly low. According to the ASMBS, more than 270,000, that's over 250,000 metabolic and bariatric procedures were performed in 2023, which represents only about 1% of those who meet eligibility requirements based on BMI.
Another quote, while both patient groups lose weight, metabolic and bariatric surgery is much more effective and durable, says ASMBS President Ann M. Rogers, MD, FASMBS, a lot of stuff there, who is not involved in the study. Those who get significant weight loss with GLPs...
insufficient.
Insufficient. Those who get insufficient weight loss with GLP-1s or have challenges complying with treatment due to side effects or costs could consider bariatric surgery as an option or even a combination.
According to the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the prevalence of obesity and severe obesity is 40% and 9.4% respectively. Studies show the disease can weaken or impair the body's immune system and cause chronic inflammation and increase the risk of scores of other disease and conditions, including cardiovascular disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers, among other things, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Death.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I know there's been a lot of celebrities that have done this GLP-1 stuff, and I think that's the reason that it's caught on so quickly. And like you say, I don't know how hard it is to get a prescription, what requirements you have to have, or what certain criteria you have to get on that stuff. I don't know. I think if I were in that situation, I'd go with the GLP-1s before I choose the surgery.
If
So,
you've had the surgery, leave us some comments and let everybody know, what it's like, what it costs, or whatever. And then
yeah,
if you're on the GLP-1, the Ozempic treatments, let us know that too. I'm sure
yeah,
everybody could benefit
yeah,
from it.
we'd be interested. So,
All right, folks.
all
Thanks
right.
for joining us. Catch you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Thanks.